So have you ever heard this advice before? When getting pulled over by the police late at night, use your hazard lights until you find a safe and well-lit area to pull over. Do you think that's good advice or bad advice? Essentially, do you think that the police officers will be understanding of you taking longer to pull over? Or do you feel like once you pull over, it will lead to a confrontational situation with the police officers? So I am criminal defense attorney Hannah Akintoye, and I know that the issue of being pulled over late at night is one that makes everybody nervous. You don't want to make a single mistake, otherwise it could lead to a very hostile situation with the police officers. And that's not where you want to be, in the middle of the dark on a road where there are no witnesses and when it's just you by yourself. So what do you do if you're in a situation where you are asked through the police officer's lights and sirens to pull over and it's too dark to do so, or you don't feel safe in the area that they are indicating that you pull over? What do you do? Well, a lot of people do recommend that you use your hazard lights, right? And you slow down so that the police officer knows that you intend to comply. But I've also seen situations where people do that, and once the police officer comes in contact with them, it becomes hostile. And the police officer believes that you were intending to flee, or that you were not stopping immediately, or you were disobeying police orders. So if you are in a situation where you are taking a little bit too long to comply and pull over, and you want to let the police officer know that you still do intend to pull over and that you're not trying to flee, what you can do is call 911. What does that do for you? Well, for one, if you call 911, there is a recording of what is happening. Immediately, once the operator picks up, your voice, your communications are being recorded. So all of your intent as you are speaking to that operator will be preserved, such that if you ever needed to use it at a later point in time, your intent is clearly in there. You can tell the operator that, hey, I'm being pulled over by a police officer. I am on XYZ road and I cannot pull over immediately because I'm on a windy road where I don't want to get hit if I pulled over, or I am on a dark road, or it's late at night and I don't feel comfortable being on this part of the road by myself. I intend to pull over at the next mile marker or the next exit or wherever it may be, or the next well-lit location that I see. I just wanted to make sure that that was noted. Now, what the operator can do is communicate through dispatch to the police officer what is happening. They can locate the police officer that is stopping you on whatever road that you are on, and they can say, hey, we just got a 911 call from this particular person who is driving this particular car. Are you the officer that is following this car? They'll say, yes or no, and they can communicate your intent to that police officer. Now, what I would probably recommend is that you stay on the line with that operator until you actually stop, so that everything that is happening from the time that lights and sirens go on for you to pull over to the time that you actually do in fact pull over, all of that time is being recorded, so that it doesn't look like you're trying to flee, doesn't look like you're trying to elude the police officers, and at least there is some initial recording of what is happening before the officer then comes in contact with you. So that is just my quick tip on something that you can do to ensure that if you are driving late at night, or if you're not in a well-lit area, that you can at least relay your intent to pull over to the police officer without the police officer getting upset with you once they do eventually come in contact with you. Because unfortunately, I have seen situations where people use this exact same tactic. They put on their hazard lights, they slow down, and it just takes them a while to find a place that's safe to pull over. But then when the officer comes in contact with them, the officer comes and approaches the car with their guns drawn. They're giving you commands. Get out of the vehicle immediately, because they may feel that you were attempting to hide something, or that you have drugs or narcotics in the car that you needed additional time to hide in the vehicle. I mean, there are lots of things that they can be thinking about. Maybe you needed the additional time to get a gun or some other type of weapon. So a lot of thoughts are going through the officer's mind, and in order to alleviate the circumstances and ensure that both parties are on the same page, a good way to ensure your safety is to just call 911 while you are still attempting to pull over. So I hope that information is helpful to you next time you are ever in a situation where it's late at night and you're not sure what to do. If you don't want to pull over immediately, that is a great way to ensure some additional safety for you. So if you have any questions, always feel free to reach out to me here or on my website, mydclaw.com. And of course, I'm always happy to chat with you further. Stay safe and take care.